The album's dedicated to my mother and to Hal Wilner. Uh, but the song When the World Was Young, which was probably the first song I wrote with Dave Ball. Dave Ball's one of the co-writers of some of the songs. And sometimes, you get a melody and the lyrics just flew out, more or less. The lyrics you read now are more or less the lyrics I wrote a couple of years ago when I first was demoing it or working on it. And I don't know why. Maybe it's the fact that I would turn 60. It's a retrospective thing. But the friendship I had with them was quite interesting. We lived on the same road. It was really called Cedarwood Road, a very long road, and had a cul-de-sac. I lived in the cul-de-sac. The Catholics tend to live in the poorer end of the street. Uh, Bono was half Protestant, half Catholic. Guggi was an even stranger thing. He was Plymouth Brethren, and we met basically. We met through Bowie because I remember the phone booth was right outside Guggi's house, which was number 5 Cedarwood Road. I was in the cul-de-sac 140, and Bono was number 10 across the road. And you used to have to go and use the phone. There was no phones. None of us could afford a phone. You couldn't afford a fridge, a phone, or a color TV. It was really special to have a color TV in 1972. But uh, we there was a thing, you probably did it yourself if you're a big vinyl head. When you'd be going down to your mates, and you'd be going, well, I'll ring you up when I'm on the way, but you'd have your albums under your arm, and you'd ring. There's a guy in school called Frank, and I says, I'll be up in about a half an hour. Walked up to you. I have the new Bowie album, and I have the Roxy album. You won't believe it. And then you'd hang up. And Guggi and Bono used to sit in the wall and see me with these albums, and they and the guy who had earrings and longer hair than them, and basically I'd be straightforward. I was cooler than them. I looked cooler than both of them. And they were like, who is this fucker? Lives down the other end of the road. And and I don't think they voted, they'll admit it too. But I remember them coming, hey, give us a lend of your album. And I go, no. But you're at that sort of shy age where you're like quite blush when someone would talk to you. And they sort of persisted uh chatting to me. And then I found like I was always like, how do they get this confidence? It bewildered me. And I was going, is that what a Protestant is? A confident person? Well, maybe the fact that they weren't being beaten. Well, Guggi was because he went to a different school. Maybe the fact that Bono wasn't being beaten every day. But a bond quickly grew between us. And we're like 13 and a half, 14. And I believe I didn't know at the time. And you don't when you're a kid. It's when you look back and get perspective. But the three of us had very dysfunctional relationships with our dads. I mean, Bono's mum died when he was 14, and his brother was 7 years older than him. So his dad was gone. His dad was like late 30s. So he was gone. He just was there. Uh, Dougie's dad was Plymouth Brethren and used to beat him up bad. And I believe that absent dad, that was almost like a silent glue between the three of us.